The Naval Academy in Maryland was busy and full of energy on a cool Monday morning as cadets marched together in perfect rhythm, their boots hitting the ground in sync while instructors watched closely. In the middle of this organized scene, a shiny black SUV pulled up at the gate, catching everyone's attention. The guard stood straighter as a man in a sharp suit with golden hair stepped out. It was Donald Trump. "What's he doing here?" whispered Cadet Lieutenant Sarah Miller to her friend Ethan. The former president walked through the gates with confidence, holding a small leather briefcase. His visit was unexpected, and both staff and cadets were left wondering why he was there. As he moved toward the main building, an officer greeted him with a salute and asked about the visit. Trump gave a small smile and replied, "I'm here to observe and speak with your finest cadets, off the record." The officer, though surprised, quickly passed on the order to gather a select group. Among them was Sarah Miller, known for being a strong leader and very disciplined. As the cadets stood in formation, Trump looked at their faces, pausing for a moment on Sarah. "Let's take a walk," he said, motioning to her. The cadets looked at each other, confused, wondering why he chose her. Sarah's thoughts raced as she walked beside Trump, trying to understand his reason. She looked at him, but his face didn't reveal anything. "So, Sarah," he said, "why did you join the Navy?" She stood tall and replied, "To serve my country, sir, and to honor my father's legacy." "Your father?" Trump asked, sounding more gentle. "He was a Navy officer," Sarah explained. "He died in a rescue mission when I was 12. I promised I'd follow in his footsteps." Trump nodded, and his usual bold style softened. "He must have been an amazing man. Let's keep walking, I want to hear more." They continued walking past training fields where cadets were practicing drills and missions. Trump seemed deeply focused, as if he was judging everything carefully, and then he suddenly asked, "Tell me, do you think you're the best cadet here?" Sarah was caught off guard and replied, "I don't know if I'm the best, sir, but I work harder than most." Trump stopped and looked at her seriously. "Hard work is good, but confidence is key. Show me what you're made of." He led her to a tough obstacle course and pointed to it. "Finish this faster than anyone else in your unit." It was a surprise challenge, but Sarah knew she had to go for it. She took a deep breath and stepped up. The course was known for being brutal, with high walls, deep muddy trenches, and rope climbs that pushed even the strongest cadets. News spread quickly, and soon cadets and instructors gathered to watch as Sarah, personally challenged by Trump, began the course. Every move she made was sharp and determined. She climbed walls, swung across gaps, and crawled under barbed wire, pushing herself harder than ever. Her muscles screamed halfway through, and a slip on a muddy slope nearly cost her, but she pushed through and, with one final jump, crossed the finish line, gasping for breath. Trump clapped slowly and said, "Impressive, Cadet Miller. But this is just the beginning." Later, Sarah and the other cadets were called into a briefing room, where Trump stood at the front with his small leather briefcase on the table. The room was full of whispers until he spoke. "You're probably wondering why I'm here," he began, opening the briefcase to reveal folders labeled Operation Valor. "This," he said, holding one up, "is why I came. I'm starting a program to honor everyday heroes and train future leaders, and you've been chosen to be part of it." The cadets looked at each other in confusion, and Sarah raised her hand. "Why us, sir?" she asked. Trump looked directly at them and said, "Because you show what this country is all about: determination, strength, and selflessness." He went on to explain that Operation Valor would pair them with kids from tough backgrounds, using the leadership and discipline they had learned to mentor and inspire the next generation. Trump told the cadets that these kids were facing struggles they couldn't even imagine, and it was their job to guide them and show them what's possible. Sarah felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. This was way more than she had expected. As the briefing ended, Trump leaned closer to her and added, "One more thing, these kids need more than discipline. They need hope. Can you handle that?" Sarah looked him in the eye, unsure but determined, and said, "Yes, sir, I'll do my best." A week later, the cadets met the teens they'd be mentoring, a group from tough inner-city backgrounds, each with their own story. One of them was Malik, a 15-year-old with a sharp attitude and a defensive stare. When Sarah approached him, Malik crossed his arms and said, "I don't need your help," with a defiant tone. But Sarah just smiled and replied, "That's fine, I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to work with you." Malik smirked and said, "We'll see about that." From a distance, Trump watched and whispered to an instructor, "Keep an eye on her, she is what it takes, but it'll take patience to reach him." Back at the academy, Sarah's friend Ethan was skeptical. "I still don't get it," he said. "Why would Trump care about mentoring kids?" Sarah shrugged and replied, "Does it matter? If it helps even one of them, isn't it worth it?" Ethan frowned and said, "I just don't trust his motives. What if this is all for show?" Sarah, clearly frustrated, said, "You're always so cynical, Ethan. Maybe this isn't about him. Maybe it's about us, about what we can do." Ethan didn't respond, but deep down, he wanted to believe in the mission, even if he still had doubts. Over the next few days, Sarah put in every effort to connect with Malik, but he resisted, rolling his eyes, muttering under his breath, or walking away. One afternoon, she noticed him sitting alone, sketching in a notebook. She approached carefully and said, "That's really good," pointing to his drawing of a battleship. Malik looked up, surprised, and replied, "It's just a sketch," quickly closing the notebook. "Do you like ships?" Sarah asked. He paused, then nodded and said, "Yeah, but it's not like I'll ever design one. People like me don't get those chances." Sarah smiled and said, "Maybe they do, you just need someone to believe in you." As she slowly worked to earn Malik's trust, a real connection began to form. Trump visited Malik's mother, a hard-working single mom juggling 2 jobs with little time for her son. Sitting in their humble living room, he said, "I've heard about Malik. He's got real potential, but he needs support." She looked at him, unsure. "And what do you plan to do about it?" Trump handed her an envelope. Inside was a scholarship offer to a top art and design school. "This is for Malik's future," he said. Tears filled her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. "I've been praying for a miracle. Maybe this is it." Meanwhile, Ethan, still unsure about Operation Valor, decided to visit one of the youth centers involved. As he walked through, he saw cadets mentoring kids, helping with schoolwork, leading team exercises, even doing mock Navy drills. A young boy, no older than 12, ran up and saluted him. "Sir, I want to be like you when I grow up," the boy said, his eyes wide with hope. Ethan froze, moved in a way he hadn't expected. Later, watching Sarah interact with Malik, something clicked. Maybe this wasn't about politics or image. Maybe it was about making a real difference. One evening, Sarah found Trump sitting quietly by the Academy's memorial wall, where names of fallen Navy officers were carved into stone under soft lighting. "You've surprised me, sir," she said. "I didn't expect you to care this much." Trump smiled faintly. "There's a lot people don't know about me. I've made mistakes, sure, but I've learned leadership isn't about power, it's about service." Sarah paused. "Do you regret anything?" Trump's face turned serious. "Plenty. But regret doesn't fix the past. It just pushes you to do better now." After weeks of effort, Malik began to open up. One day, he showed Sarah a new sketch, this time, a futuristic aircraft carrier. "This is amazing," she said. "Have you thought about studying engineering?" Malik shrugged. "I don't know. Guys like me don't get into schools like that." Sarah leaned in. "What if I told you someone already believes in you?" Confused, he asked, "What do you mean?" She smiled. "Let's just say there are people who see your potential, even if you don't yet." For the final test of Operation Valor, Trump brought everyone together for a leadership camp. Cadets ran it, and the kids were grouped into teams to complete challenges. Sarah's team, led by Malik, struggled at first, but slowly, Malik stepped up, solving problems, guiding his team, and by the end, they built an impressive model ship. Trump watched from a distance, a proud smile forming. At the camp's closing ceremony, he addressed the crowd. "I've seen something amazing here," he said. I'm proud to announce that Operation Valor will expand nationwide." Applause broke out. This isn't just about mentoring, it's about building the future of this country. And thanks to people like Cadet Miller and her team, that future looks bright. Sarah was overwhelmed with emotion. What started as uncertainty had become a powerful journey. Before she left, Malik handed her a folded note. "Don't read it now," he said softly. That evening, back at the academy, she opened it. It read, "Dear Sarah, thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. Because of you, I'm applying to engineering school. I want to design real ships, not just sketches. You changed my life. I'll never forget it." Tears filled Sarah's eyes. Every struggle, every moment of doubt had been worth it. Before Trump left the academy, he found Sarah one last time. "You've done something incredible," he said. She shook her head. "It wasn't just me. It was all of us." He nodded. "True. But every great team needs a leader. You remind me of someone I once knew, fearless, driven, and kind. Never lose that." Sarah felt a lump in her throat. "Thank you, sir, for everything. Keep making a difference, Cadet Miller," he said. "The world needs more people like you." Months passed, and Operation Valor spread across the country. More stories of kids like Malik reaching their goals began to surface. Sarah got updates from her mints, letters that reminded her of the impact she'd made. Ethan, now fully on board, became a mentor himself. And Trump, no longer in the spotlight, quietly supported the program, proving that real change doesn't always make headlines, it grows in silence. One day, Sarah received a package. Inside was a photo of Malik standing proudly in front of a university engineering building, holding a blueprint of a ship he designed. A note came with it, "Dear Sarah, I made it. Thank you for everything. Malik." Her heart swelled with pride. She looked at the photo and knew that one unexpected visit from a man many misunderstood had set off a chain of events that would change lives forever, and that true legacy isn't built in speeches, but in the people you lift up along the way.